Yeah, so let's start on the offensive side of the ball and talk about in the first half. It was tough sledding, man. I mean, their defensive line played well in Michigan, and this is the part that I think maybe goes lost to some people. Jack, they played 8 offensive linemen in this game. I mean, they
Yeah.
were running guards in and out of there because of injury and performance and the combination of the two.
Yep.
Yet they were able to find something eventually, right?
Yeah, I agree. I got the sense in the first quarter in particular, like both teams were just trying to figure each other out, right? It didn't seem like anybody was really playing that well or playing that terribly. It just was kind of back and forth, just trying to feel each other out, figure out what was going to work. I think a lot of it, as you saw in the second half, was based on adjustments, and what both offenses wanted to do later was just a reflection of what they'd seen in the first half. Maybe didn't anticipate. I'm not sure, but like you said, they played 8 offensive linemen. They got some rotation. They got some depth going, which is good to see. It's good to see that they feel that they can play that many guys. Certainly offensive line's a position of chemistry, and you'd like to have, the same guys playing next to each other as much as possible. But it's good to know that if one goes down, there's one to stand up next.
As we're going to look at it in the first quarter, how they were bottling things up for Michigan. So this is them hitting Blake Corum for a loss here.
Yep. So you see you got an 8-man box, which, you never really ideally want to run into, or if you are going to run into it, it means that you got to be on, right? Everyone's got to execute, and nobody can really mess up because there's just too many guys in the box. You play 2 tight ends, you're going to have that situation. It's just a stretch zone to the boundary out to the right side. The front side of the blocking does pretty well from Vistardis over to the right. It's just 2 double teams. They're out leveraged a little bit, but you're going to have that with 8 guys. Where they go wrong is on the backside. Both Hayes at left tackle and Keegan at left guard do a poor job. They get beat across their face. Now, Keegan at left guard is responsible for the nose guard who's inside of him or to the right of him. That's a hard block, right? When you come off the ball, you're asking to get around that guy. In that position, he's just one-on-one. He knows he doesn't have any help from Vistardis. You'd like to see him just cut that guy, right? Get a chop block, get that guy to the ground, because if they do a good job front side, a lot of these plays, a lot of these kind of stretches, they'll end up cutting back. You see Corum tries to do it there, but there's nowhere to go. Everybody's got to be on their A game because there's just too many guys around there. So a lot of times those zones will look to cut back, and if the backside doesn't do their job, it doesn't really matter. The defenders pursue down the line of scrimmage, and they get to Corum before anything can happen.
And then the games they ran up front, you want to give Michigan credit because I thought they got better at picking up their twist game up front later in the game. But early in the game, Jack, it was giving them some trouble, man. The first one we'll go to is Cade sacked by a twist in the first quarter. This is the first one that we go to. Early in the game, something that they adjusted to later in the game, which is very significant. So want to point that out first and foremost. All right, so this is Cade being sacked by a twist. All right, so take it away, Jack.
Yeah, it's just a poor play by the offensive line here. So just 4 down defensive linemen, and they're gonna slide the protection to the left, meaning Vistardis isn't covered. Now he's got to go one way or the other. There's 2 defenders on each side. He slides to the left, and they twist from the left side. Now, when you slide into it, no offensive line coach is going to be okay with giving up a sack there. So what happens is, if you rewind the tape, for those of you who are watching this, Hayes gets turned a little bit at the end there, and I think that's Keegan in there.
Yes, Keegan.
And Keegan does a poor job. He's got to know Vistardis is running with him, right? Vistardis is kicking towards him. He can afford to get a little wider there to help out against that twist because he knows I got a guy on my right side in case I miss the looper coming around, right? I know I got another guy there to help pick it up. A lot of times, if it's just 2-on-2, that makes it difficult. You don't want to, put yourself in a bad position. But Keegan's got to do a better job kicking out wide here to help out Hayes and take the pressure off him because Stardust is sitting there when he needs to be, but they miss it. They don't get there, and it's a good job. The other guys are on scholarship too. I say that all the time. The 99, the defensive tackle here from Nebraska, that's about as good as you can do. You drive into that left tackle's shoulder, and eventually the left guard's got to bail to get the looper, and that's when you make your move. It's just a good play by them, a poor play by Michigan's offensive line.